We are here once again today on this episode. Yes, you're with me, your host Wisdom Godwin, and we're here to talk about politics. Yes, politics. Who's the candidate? First up, yes, we're going to know, and we have a guest in the house. He's going to be talking to us on what he thinks about this upcoming elections. Be right back after this break. Okay, so we just arrived from the quick break we took, and we have a wonderful guest with us, a political analyst. I love the way I'm putting this. So he's going to be talking to us on politics. Yes, politics. Who's your candidate? Who are you rooting for? Are you going to vote in the upcoming elections? Because you really have to. Yeah, so you're going to introduce yourself,
okay,
to the house.
Okay, first thing first, my name is Usoro Emmanuel. I'm a student of the University of Uyo who has been at home for a while now due to the ASU strike. And I have also been a very, very obedient citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Wow, we're feeling it already. Because you don't even mention the candidate's name. But I think
yes,
I know.
I should be as a resultant to the happenings in Nigeria. Okay, also I'm a copywriter and I help people write about their businesses and all of that. That's basically what I do. Thank you.
So you're gonna be okay. So who's your candidate?
Okay. As a student who has been at home for about 6 months now, as someone who has his parents working in the civil service, someone who has his parents battering through the economic situations we have in Nigeria, how dilapidated our country has become. It is very right for me to be a very ardent, obedient and useful citizen of the country by rooting for our very respected principal, Mr. Peter Obi.
What would you say your candidate is doing right or has done right already to win the upcoming elections?
Okay, I would say there's this popular saying that when once people have a history of being successful, it creates a ground for one to predict their success in the future.
Yeah.
Mr. Peter Obi is actually a very phenomenal personality.
Okay.
Peter Obi actually started his life as a trader, and he was from a family that was actually involved in business trading. His father was a millionaire and all of that.
Okay.
He grew like that into the corporate world, like he will always say, where he got into the banking sector, and he was the youngest chairman of Fidelity Bank PLC. In that bank, he made a whole lot. He had a lot of achievements, before even coming into politics. So Peter Obi was actually a billionaire already. He had attained all forms of successes for a young man in his capacity. And coming into governance, he performed tremendously well, especially in the areas of the healthcare system, the education, managing the finance of the state, as well as also promoting the growth of some major companies and investments in the state. As at 2016 or 2015 or thereabout, 2017 or so, when Peter Obi came to limelight, people got to know him nationally due to his speech, his cutting governance speech at the platform program by Pastor Poju. That was where I think young Nigerians got the awareness of Peter Obi. So Peter Obi's achievements in the state was outstanding.
Okay.
We had the second largest refinery in the world, Sabmila, coming to host their greenfield in Anambra State. Mr. Peter Obi also encouraged the establishment of innocent vehicles. Understand?
Okay.
I think he made an order of 1,000 vehicles, which was so much support to that company because it had workers that were Nigerians.
Okay, so you just said that he's been doing well, or he did well as a governor.
He did well.
Yeah, so
exceptionally.
like, don't you think that there's a difference between being a governor and president of a country as big as Nigeria, you get.
Yes.
So don't you think that was just like he knows this are my people, I'm from here. How about Nigeria as a whole? We have different ethnic groups, different religions, you get. How is sure he's gonna still favor us? And because that was on the ground, that was his own. So like, do you think he's gonna favor the whole Nigeria based on the different ethnic groups we have?
Yeah, certainly. He is not a tribalist. He has always maintained the position that he is a Nigerian. Severally, he has noted that he shouldn't be voted for because he's from a certain part of a country.
Okay.
He shouldn't be voted for because he's an Igbo man. He should be voted for because he's a Nigerian. He has provided actual solutions, fact, comparative statistical analysis, ways he would solve the pending problems of Nigeria. Okay. He has talked about the agricultural problem in Nigeria, he called the northern lands the crude oil of Nigeria. He hopes to boost the economy of Nigeria. It also hopes to solve the electricity problem. Electricity is actually a very, very important part of any economy to boost the production. Like he always sees production. He wants to convert the country from a consumption country to a production country.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
Then you know that before now, Labour Party has always been a party.
Yes.
But we've not really been paying attention to the Labour Party because we felt like because in Nigeria we have multi parties, but there's this two that's very outstanding: APC and PDP. And the flag bearer for APC is Tinubu, and then the other PDP is Atiku. Don't you think that these people already have an edge over the Labour Party?
Well, I would like to liken the case of Mr. Peter Obi to the current president of France. His name is Emmanuel Macron.
Okay.
Emmanuel Macron resigned from the then President Hollande's government of France in 2016. He formed his own political party from scratch in 2016 and went on to win the presidential elections in 2017. When Macron resigned from the government, he gained social media support. He was seen in print. A majority of the French people backed him, and he won the elections overwhelmingly. Okay. So, the Peter Obi's case is likened to that because Macron preached the same message, the message of hope and change. So it's very visible for Nigerians to win the elections through the Labour Party. Nigerians are the structure. There's hunger, there is pain, we have gotten to the brim of it. Like we are conscious now. I've seen people coming to get their PVC at Collation Center. People are ready to storm the venues, the polling units to put their votes for.
Okay. So you know that we are judging them from their histories. Okay. Yeah. So going to Peter Obi's case, since you're in support of him, history always has its own. Don't you think that that's like a strategy? Because he's been as a governor, he definitely will know what you're looking out for. Maybe he knew he was going to look out for the presidential seat later on. Sure. Maybe what he was doing was just to keep a mark so that he'll be like, okay, people will still come back to this to check. So at least let me just do this right. Then maybe when I get into the presidential seat, we go on. So don't you think that it was a strategy to get into the presidential seat? How are we sure that he's not gonna fumble on the way?
Okay, I think there is no reason for Peter Obi to fumble. Peter Obi actually has nothing to lose. He was born into a family. His dad was a millionaire. Today he's a billionaire. He didn't make his money from government. He's a very comfortable private citizen. If he loses the elections next year, he's going to go back to his life. He loses nothing, absolutely. So I don't really see what he wants to gain from being I don't see the gain. Instead, it is gain to us.
Tinubu and Atiku. I mean, those people are rich too. We could say that at least they're doing well for themselves as candidates. Yeah, you don't want to talk about their net worth. You get.
Okay, so, yes, certainly, but you also have to pay consciousness to how these people made their money too. Understand?
Yeah.
You can see most majority of them made their money from governance, and they actually survive on governance. Understand? They survive on politics. They survive on the elections, the yearly elections, and everything. Understand? Also, the other factors governing their candidacy, these self feeling like we owe it to them to be president. That we are owing them for them to come and be president and stuff like that.
Okay.
So this is just Peter Obi is just a man willing. He's not like he says, he's not desperate to be the president. He's just desperate to see Nigeria work. Everyone desires to save Nigeria someday.
Yeah.
Everybody, myself here inclusive, if I have the opportunity, I should save Nigeria.
If we'll be willing to embrace the change, because most people are scared of getting their PVCs. They feel like it's not going to count. It's not going to count. And then Peter Obi is not the kind of person who would want to get his hands into dirty stuff. You get, the corruption in the nation. So what would you say? Does he stand a chance of winning all these obstacles on the way?
Well, I would say yes. Peter Obi still stands a chance to win all of this.
Yeah.
I can recall when Peter Obi they started APGA. APGA won elections in Anambra State, even when there was structure of PDP, plural PDP from the federal. And APGA won governorship elections in Anambra State. And APGA, he's the same man yesterday, today, and forever. His honesty never changes. He's a man of standards. Understand? People should come out to vote. We all witnessed what happened in Osun State. That was awesome. We saw how votes counted. Everything was counted. People saw how it was uploaded online, and people saw that their votes count. So that was an example to the entire nations that our votes will count. If our votes will count, they won't come to steal ballots. They won't come to financially induce us. Yeah. They won't come to its religious division, tribal division, and all three forms of attack they use to deceive the gullible masses.
Yeah, so you're saying that it's not just the social media thing?
Yes, it is not just the social media things. Lest we forget, the people on social media are not human beings. Are they not Nigerians?
They are. You know they are. There's a difference between you trying to post support Peter Obi for Peter Obi on social media, and at the end of the day, you don't even have a PVC with you.
Yes, that's why I say there's actually been a growing consciousness among we that are on social media.
Okay.
There's been a growing consciousness. People are getting their PVC. Okay. Like I've seen the list apolitical. I remember I posted when I posted a video of one of the candidates on my status. Someone actually called me and said, "I beg, where I get my PVC?" Because the video broke his heart. Understand? Okay. So there's a growing consciousness. Understand? Right. Definitely, we'll go down to the streets, to the villages where people don't have access to the social media, because we just have about 35 million Nigerians on social media, and the most majority of them are not on social media. So we need to go down and preach this message of hope, this message of change, and let them know that it is time for we to vote for action and not make it politics as usual.
Okay, so actually we're going to go to Tinubu right now, because most people are saying that the one mistake he made was picking a Muslim ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's Muslim, and then his running mate is actually Muslim. So do you think that that's like a yardstick for choosing your president? Because we are accepting anything. I mean, it's not just about the religion; it's about the person in question. We don't just have to check the running mates, like which religion they stand by.
Well, Nigeria is at a state where we are polarized at different angles, religiously, tribal, and everything. There's always a growing consciousness in our history with regards to religion and tribe. Understand? Yeah. Well, it is just common sense to try to stabilize your ticket as a presidential aspirant. Understand? Picking a Muslim northerner as with the excuse that he is competent was a little bit awkward. In essence, you're trying to say northern Christians are not competent. And that is quite sad. Yeah. Especially at the time where a certain religion feels there is been an over marginalization, and there's a certain time where we almost have northerners, not Muslims across all high offices in the country.
Yeah.
So balancing the ticket, giving the Christians a sense of belonging, yes,
Yeah.
would be the best thing to do at a point in time in Nigeria, not to polarize us again, because we've been polarized across religious lines by the Buhari government.
Really?
Yes. So I think that was actually a blunder on the All Progressive Party.
Yeah.
And I should be happy. Yes, I'm happy.
because it's in your favor.
Yes, it's in my favor. In my party, the Labour Party, we have a very balanced ticket.
Yeah, Christian Muslim.
We're a Christian Muslim.
Yeah.
The vice president is a very true Muslim all his life. Understand?
Yeah.
So there's no religious anything bordering around it.
Okay.
So I think it was a little bit insensitive on the part of the All Progressive Party to talk about that part.
I read something that had people saying that the person he picked was not really competent to do
Emi
it.
Atiku.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like, but he is a Christian.
I was actually following the progress of the People's Democratic Party's primaries, and I would say it was actually sad that the People's Democratic Party gave their tickets to a Northerner after experiencing 8 years of a Northern presidency. It is logical, it is gentlemanlike to have the presidency shift to the south. That notwithstanding, I would say Atiku also made a blunder in not picking Wike, Governor Nyesom Wike. Governor Nyesom Wike is actually seen as a very big voice in South Central Nigeria. The man has a lot of influence, and if at all he wants to win elections, he should be picking Governor Nyesom Wike as a vice to him. But from what I'm seeing, I think he's planning to contest elections again in 2027. I wish him well. Yes.
Wow.
I wish him well.
Wow. I love the confidence, bro.
I wish him well. I don't even see him as an opponent in the elections. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
You're not articulated at all?
Not at all. It's a lost cause.
Okay. So we've come to the end of today's episode, and we had Manuel, a political analyst, talking to us on being obedient. And we still have to get a PVCs. So if you've not gotten your PVC, please do get one, because this time around we're going for war with a PVC.
Certainly.
Definitely. So you're gonna vote for who you feel should be on the seat. So thank you for going through this episode with us. Follow our social media handles on the screen, and see you same time next week. I am your host, Mr. Godwin.